Hey everyone, so if you're watching these in chronological order, this is video number 4. Um, in this video, we're gonna touch a little more on unalienable rights. I have a website I want to kind of go over with you guys, which I will leave the link to in the description. That's gonna go over, a little bit of the difference between legal and lawful. And then if we have time in this video, I would also like to go over a a WordPad document that, kind of explains what a false arrest, what the police are, looking at, over a false arrest. Um, so I guess I'm not going to waste any time. We kind of have a lot of things to go over. However, before I did start the lessons, I wanted to make sure that I told you guys that, ooh, this is hot shit. No, but none of this is my content. I'm not a writer. Um, this is all just information that I've acquired that I feel needs to be passed on. I'm not claiming rights to it. Honestly, I'm sure if the people come across my videos, they're probably gonna give me some kind of shit. But I want to make it very clear that, I'm not claiming ownership of none of this shit. All 4 videos so far, it's not my original work. Like I said, I just trying to help people out. Um, I guess with that being said, let's hop straight into the lessons. All right, so welcome to the poor man's PowerPoint. It's not really; it's just a web browser. So this is the Sons of Liberty 2k .wordpress. This is just a blog. But he has some really good examples here of what's legal and lawful. So it starts out. I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be able to read this, on your screen. Um, Killing equals unlawful, but it can be legal. We watched that just happen with the whole Breonna Taylor case and George Floyd and the Wisconsin kid or wherever the fuck he was from. So obvious question, which is worse? Obviously, the plant is the lesser of the 2 evils, but how can killing be legal? Man-made positive law, you know? That's man-made. Legal is man-made. What people fail to comprehend is that the law works like a cake. It works in layers, but unless you cut through all the bullshit, you can't see its mechanics. Now, this guy says, there's a hierarchy, if you will, just like creation, just like I was explaining in another video. You have your creator, God, Allah, Earth, Bob, etc. They created mankind. In turn, mankind created government and corporations. It's very simple. So under the hierarchy of reality, as I call it, there's no way something, like God or Mother Nature, natural law, made this dude writes kind of weird. I don't like the way he does his parentheses at all. Anyways, God or Mother Nature isn't gonna, put something on this earth that is unlawful. That doesn't make sense. Um, Here we have a maxim of law. The power which is derived cannot be greater than that which it is derived from. Meaning, if, the government derives its power from the people, then it cannot be greater than the people's power. It's, that's Romans 13:1. Again, I don't know if you guys can read that. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Um, in law, there's a hierarchy, but it acts more like a foundational hierarchy or foundationary. Think of a house without a solid foundation, it's worthless. Odds are it'll blow over in the first big windstorm. Law is like that too. Although our government is a legal fiction itself, the foundation of the Constitution is under the common law, or the law of the land. This is the foundation of our Constitution, and everything that has been built on top of that is considered inferior. The inferior courts are going to be your municipal courts. That's your city court. That's where you go to handle traffic tickets. They have all sorts of names. Um, in the parentheses, it just says, in reality, the foundation is, God's law or natural law, because common law is a derivative of natural law. Go a little further down, in Mayberry versus Madison, it was made clear any law repugnant to the Constitution is void. That is a very, serious case. I have it right up here in my bookmarks. The laws that govern legal fictions like corporations, governments, and agents of those fictions, a man or a woman acting on behalf, i.e., a cop or, you know, anything like that, a clerk. They're people that act on behalf of a corporation so you can speak to them. Like, I'm actually about to fire off a letter to the district attorney in Pennsylvania because it's really starting to appear as if he doesn't know what his unalienable rights are. As they're trying to charge me with driving with no plates and registration and insurance and all of that jazz. It's I don't know. I'm gonna keep you guys posted on it. I mean, I'm showing you clear as day, where this shit comes from. We can eventually we'll get on to Cornell law and shit. And they have a pretty good collection of, recorded law, I guess you could call it. Sorry, I need some coffee. So yeah, any law, made contradictory to the Constitution. So if the Constitution says that you can go, eat pizza with your friends on Friday, anything that says that you can't is null and void. That was a really lame example, but it's an example. To understand this further, you have to know some maxims of law that explain the truth behind the persons, contracts, benefits, consent, and ignorance. Persons, statutory fiction, a legal position, capacity, or status. That's talking, statutory fiction is talking about your driver's license. A a person does not refer to a man unless in another context. A statutory court cannot recognize a man, only a man's person. Lawyers are not a thing. They are a capacity. They act as a man's person. That's why I tell you guys you can't hire attorneys, because in Latin, to attorn means to turn over. So you're turning over power of your body. You're better off just learning what your rights are and saving thousands of dollars. None of this shit's hard. I mean, if you really want to get out of something, you are a man or a woman. If you didn't hurt anybody, there's no reason for you to be there. So, when a man goes in without a lawyer, he's considered pro se, aka the capacity of a lawyer or an officer of the court, which is in contrast to in propria persona or pro per, which does not admit to in personam jurisdiction of the court, which a lawyer is subject to because they are an officer of the court. So if a court's ever calling you per se or pro se, which I believe both courts are calling me pro se, which I'm gonna have to correct that. That's status correction. It's as simple as a dear judge, I was going over this, and this, and I realized, you put that my filings were pro se, or clerk's office. I realized you filed my stuff as pro se. I guess I should have been a little clearer because I forgot you have the power of presumption. All my filings are in propria persona. I always make sure that when I file something, I go up there. Actually, here I filed something recently by registered mail. So I guess that one, I'm never in a capacity of a lawyer. I am not the straw man. That's what that's saying, is that a lawyer can only be the straw man. They can't be John Doe. They can only be John fucking Doe. And I don't know if I put out the video, but that's my my legal name used for examples. You know, fucking would be his middle name. I really couldn't think of anything better. So, the status of a person is his legal position or condition. A person is a man considered with reference to a certain status. The law is no respecter of persons. That's Acts 10:34. That's basically saying, you know, pretty clearly, the law does not respect persons. That's not saying that it doesn't respect man or woman. It's saying, you know, kind of subliminally, that if you want to go by that name, you know, you're a fool. Actually, and I believe it's Job, or however you say it. I always say Job, but it's 31:21 or something like that. I'm trying to remember that off the top of my head, honestly, and it's not coming to me. Anywho, it says anyone that identifies with the name is a fool. You know, it's bearing the mark of the beast. And it might not seem like that because it's all you've ever known. Well, think about this. Our grandparents were led astray. Our great-grandparents, you know, all these people have been led astray this whole time throughout history. You know, we're just now at the age where all this shit's online. You can just post it. I mean, do your end of the research, you know? If you see, you know, even if you're, you know, I'm suspicious, I look up Acts 10:34. Or I'm not suspicious, but, you know, if I'm a suspicious person, I guess. I'm suspicious of the things that people do. So, you know, me, I would read through this. Oh, look, there's a sighting of something. So, you know, read it. So, contracts can be implied, silent, done in bad faith, fraudulent, but if you don't call out the shenanigans, your ignorance is their victory. The agreement of parties makes the law of the contract. The contract makes the law. The agreement of the parties, or the contract, overcomes or prevails the law. You know, so if you want to beat the law, make a contract going around it. You know, but it is smart to learn contract law. I mean, consent makes contract law. We're about to go into that, you know, here in a second. If you sacrifice rights for benefits and you lose freedom, rights are given by our Creator, benefits are given by legal fictions. It is an inverse. The more benefits you consent to, the more legally disabled you become. You know, anyone who would trade their liberty for a little security deserves neither. No one is obliged to accept a benefit against his consent. That's literally the next section, is consent. He who receives the benefit should also bear the disadvantage of the benefit. He who enjoys the benefit ought also to bear the burden. He who derives the benefit from a thing ought to feel the disadvantages attending it. You know, that's why, you know, you don't have a right to travel if you have a driver's license, you know. But that's not true, because it's an unalienable right. But that's why the police feel they're, you know, doing their job, because the contract's supposed to take away your right. Not when the people figure out what the fuck's going on, you know. So, next section is consent. You know, I've been waiting for this for 4 videos. This is literally what started this channel right here, is me trying to explain consent to people. And then, you know, you can't just jump in with a topic like that. You know, there's, man, between, you know, hours that I've filmed and I didn't post and all this shit, man, there is no way to jump in talking about consent without explaining everything else on the way. Consent is our best defense until you're comfortable asserting your God-given alienable rights. You know, if you can't properly explain your rights, you just don't consent. I know this is a contract with the state. you know, with, I don't know if I've signed any tickets, but I always show up because I want to clear up the name, and that's where I fuck up. Um, I have stuff I need to get squared away as well. I'm not, trying to teach you guys because I'm already I can see through the illusion. I'm working to correct my shit. I'm trying to just keep other people from getting fucked. Um, Consent is implied, silent, signature on a ticket, verbal agreement, etc. Consent between parties is the only way a contract is binding. Consent makes the law. A contract is a law between parties, which can acquire force only by consent. So if the statutory system, to be part of that, you gotta have a driver's license. So you made a contract with them, and that's how that became law. Because that doesn't apply to a man or a woman. That applies to your 2D figure. He who is silent, or he who consents cannot receive an injury. He who is silent appears to consent. Now you do have the right to silence, though, but you must invoke it. Otherwise, silence can, be acquiescence. I need to watch using big words. I forgot about that. This is supposed to be kept pretty basic, I guess. Things silent are sometimes considered as expressed. All laws either been derived from the consent of the people, established by necessity, confirmed by custom, or divine providence. Consent of the people being the biggest thing there. Consent. You can tell them no. Right here is ignorance. I don't think we need to explain what ignorance is. Maybe. A lot of people are ignorant of law. They will easily be told that, they are subject to statutes and they don't want to challenge the courts. They'll just, oh, I can just pay it off. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. I'll let you guys sit with that for a second and read it real quick. I don't feel like ignorance needs to be gone over. But basically, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Other relevant maxims are, human law or man-made law, positive law, statutory law, are born, live, and die, as opposed to natural law or God's law, which is eternal. Basically meaning, statutory laws, it's a bill, goes through the House. You guys watch the whole Schoolhouse Rock thing, Human laws or man-made laws, they're, you put together your little thing, you send it to Congress, your bill, you send it to Congress. Oh, man, I don't know that song at all, but, yeah, they have a lifespan. I mean, they can be struck down, they can be born. Unalienable rights are unalienable. They cannot be given away. They cannot be traded. They cannot be stolen. The law serves the vigilant, not those who sleep upon their rights. If you don't know your rights, you have none. And after watching these videos, I feel like I really try to put out there what your exact rights are. Actually, we're about to get into that here in a second. Relief is not given to such as sleep on their rights. I don't know. That's a typo. Liberty is an inestimable good, meaning that, if you're at liberty, it's there's no comprehension. It's inestimable. It's always good if you're at liberty. Those awake, not those asleep, the laws assist. That's 1 Timothy 1:9. That's obviously out of the Bible. Legal remedies are for the active and vigilant. If you start paying attention to this shit, if you're wronged by the police, you can go in and, claim your prize. those away. Those who do not preserve the law of the land, they justly incur the awesome and indelible brand of infamy. Yeah. I can't relate. I don't really know what that means for real. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I mean, I'm sure we could sit here for 5 minutes and I'll sit here and tear it apart, but I preserve the law of the land, so I don't have to deal with the latter. Conclusion: lawful laws govern nature. Legal laws govern fictions. In order for we the people to get fucked over as bad as we have, it is because we are ignorant, arrogant, and lost sense of reality and nature. You guys believe, your name's your name. You're not a name. You're a man or a woman. Here's Black's Law definitions of impropria persona and pro se. You guys, I will leave the link for this site down in the description. You guys are free to check it out. He also has other blogs that are very great. They're amazing. Dude's pretty smart. So this is the slide about unalienable rights. I'm sure you guys can sit here and read. If there's something I feel we should talk about, I'm gonna call it out. But like right here, inherent means you got it from God. They existed before the state. If you can't take them away, they're unalienable. They can never be taken away, diminished, altered, or leaned upon by the state. Now, if you say you're in a car, you're being ignorant, and you hurt someone, yeah, you can lose your right to travel then. But if you're, say, even if, all right, let's go with a pretty crazy one. Say you're driving in your car and you're smoking weed. Are you hurting anybody? If you aren't swerving, you're in your lane, you're using your turn signal, you're not hurting anybody. What the fuck's wrong? If you're a man or a woman traveling in your private capacity, cannabis is lawful. Don't be the name. So I'm sure you guys have started maybe reading into these. They're pretty, elementary. The right to life, liberty, or life, freedom, health, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the one that's in the Constitutions. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have the right to contract or not to contract, which is unlimited. Also notice this is the unalienable rights of every man or woman, not persons or residents. You have to learn the difference. The right to earn a living by being compensated with wages, a salary, or any trade goods in a fair exchange for one's work. This is one thing I'm personally trying to figure out, is how to go about earning wages as a man instead of a name. I'm sure it's something really simple. I'm overlooking it. That's usually how it works, so I'll stop thinking about it for a few days. The right to travel in the ordinary course of one's life and business. I consider that one of the main ones, That is the right to travel. That is what brought me into all of this. The right to privacy and confidentiality, free from unwarranted invasion. Basically, if you did not commit a crime, these police officers have no business talking to you. Well, maybe you guys have those commercial plates that give them jurisdiction. So that's a little different. I showed you guys the private plate that I run. I'm using my right to privacy and confidentiality. Free, from unwarranted invasion. I don't want them to talk to me. I don't want them to come solicit, at my door and, try to sell me their statutory services. I don't fucking want that. Get out of here. The right to control and hold one's property lawfully without trespass. That's really simple. Another way you can think of one's property would be their legal person. So basically, if you're doing something lawful, such as traveling, you've been stopped, and they're, give me your ID, your driver's license, blah 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 blah. Can't drive without a driver's license. Well, one, your property is the license. So if you're holding it lawfully, they aren't going about getting that properly. Sir, if you need, my license, what I'm gonna need from you, I I got the basic idea from Freedom from Government, and it's a public servant questionnaire. I added a little bit to it, kind of. I changed the wording. Trent fights his stuff differently than I do, and I mean, I don't have it. What I think Trent does is, fucking amazing. I've read one of his books. I've watched almost all of his YouTube videos. He's a good dude. I like him. He just fights this differently than I do. We all have different ways to go about it. Not everyone's situation is the same, and you guys will hear that a million times during all this shit. Hopefully you're reading some of this as I'm stopped, and kind of figuring it out on your own, while I'm, going over it. The right to self-defense when threatened with harm, loss, or deceit. It's looking like I'm gonna have to do that in a different video. But like I said, I have a shit ton of case law that literally shows you, like, for example, when a person being without fault is in a place where he has the right to be, is violently assaulted, he may, without retreating, repel by force. And if in reasonable exercise of his right of self-defense, his assailant is killed, he is justified. So that's just, the tip of the iceberg right there. Let's just keep going. I know I'm getting close to the time limit of my videos. The right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend. Can't be taken from, a maximum of law is, you can't be taken from your castle and conducted before a judge or a prison. That's happened in, both of my cases. These people are fucking idiots. We have to start teaching them their jobs, because they're getting in here on a power trip because something was wrong with them as, growing up. It's not our faults, but they're taking it out on us like it is. Maybe some of you guys picked on these people, but I stayed to my damn self. Leave me the fuck alone. The right to be presumed innocent, suffering no detention or arrest, no search or seizure without reasonable cause. I'm going to make a video on reasonable and probable cause. We'll get there eventually. The right to remain silent when accused and avoid self-incrimination. Invoke your, I can't remember which one it is, 5th or 6th, that says you can remain silent. It's from the Miranda rights case. I know that. I don't know. I don't need to remain silent. I have cards, I have paperwork that they have to fill out before I will speak to them. It states clear as day that I have the right to do that in the paperwork. So, it's how to stay on top of your game. They're gonna see that paperwork. I know. Once they see that fee schedule on there, they're not, as enthusiastic about their shit. The right to equity in the eyes of the law and to equal representation. The right to jury trial by one's peers. You're supposed to have a jury trial by your peers. The right to appeal in law against conviction, sentence, or both. The right to expose knowledge necessary to one's rights and freedoms, meaning you can never be censored. The freedom of speech. The right to peaceful association, assembly, expression, or protest. I told you guys during the beginning of Corona, they can't keep you from gathering. The right to practice a religion and to have beliefs of one's choosing, meaning you don't have to believe in their shit. You know, you have free will. Do whatever the fuck you want. You know, no one's holding your head in the toilet to do anything unless you're receiving some sort of benefit. Um, the right to love and consensual marriage with children as a family. I've told you guys about marriage licenses in the past. Not in any videos. That's more of me, you know, people I talk to in person, I guess, you know. I make fun of everybody when they talk about getting married. Not really make fun of them. It's like, what does the state have to say? You know, who the fuck are they? They trying to fucking, you know, they trying to be in the middle. You know, they don't want to be fucking the conductor or the caboose. They just want to be in the middle and just get gangbanged, and they want to be up in it. I don't know. That was really stupid, but I don't care. It's my channel. Get the fuck over it. Um, the right to security from abuse, persecution, tyranny, and war. Very out there, you know. If someone, you know, is being a tyrant, you have the right to protect yourself. You know, if someone's abusing you, you have the right to be secure from that. You know, you don't have to endure it. You can fucking go. The right to refuse to kill under command by reason of conscience. That's a very good one. The right to live in peace and be left alone when law abiding. That's liberty. Literally, that's liberty. Live in peace and be left alone when law abiding. Don't fucking, you know, cause no harm, take no shit. You know, don't be a bitch, but, you know, don't do anything wrong. Since the most critical failure of the people is their failure to ensure their teachings or the teachings and common knowledge of the unalienable rights, if you do not know your rights, you effectively have none. By the path of ignorance, whether by apathy or deception, the people arrive in a state of exploitation, oppression, and tyranny. You know, that makes sense, you know. I my court case would be going a whole different way if not if I mean I knew my rights. I didn't know how to properly articulate what I was trying to say to them. And I know that's why it's gotten as serious as it has. But these people are supposed to know this shit, you know. If you get pulled over, the main thing you should have to say is I'm traveling. I'm gonna pause this real quick and switch back to the other view. This is all the video I can do on this. Oh hey, did you guys miss me? So anyways, you know, we've gone through 2 pages, um, just about at 33 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Um, I'm literally coming right back with another video as soon as I upload this. I'm gonna actually start filming it. I guess you could call it a part 2. We're gonna go over, you know, some of the case law about unlawful arrest, and we're, you know, after I finish that page is kind of long. I'm gonna probably hit you guys with some of the website in the private. It's a very good website. I will link that in the description to that video. Um, you know, just, you know, study. You know, I'm giving you guys, I'm bringing you to the, you know, salvation, literally. Um, I realize it's intimidating. Fucking, you know, you see me getting in trouble and shit. You know, I'm sure that helps a lot. But I'm showing you the shit firsthand, you know. Um, that's all there is to it. Is you know, if more and more people start doing this, it won't be an issue. Cops will know to, you know, they need to learn this shit. This is general knowledge. So, you know, like I said, like, subscribe, share. And I'm literally about to film another episode here in like 2 minutes.